When I started out doing this stuff and making tape loops in my bedroom when I was 16, I didn't even know anything about tape loops or who else had done them before. It was all so new to me. It felt like I was inventing fire or inventing the wheel.
Are we all good on the video?
When we started, we were, of course, doing it cutting up tape with razor blades. So then cut to Don's explanation of meeting Don, I think about a year and a half later through radio. And once we went up to the radio station, I don't know why we were like this, but just immediately we just started turning records on and off and backwards and playing tape loops and adding in all kinds of crazy things, which at that time you had never done.
No, I had never done it, no, and I never thought of it. And they came up the first time probably ever in a radio station and just did it.
We just immediately started wrecking it, all wrecking it.
Naivete, they just said, oh, look at all this equipment, and they filled it all up and we started turning it on and off. And
there were 3 turntables, 4 reel-to-reels, 2 cassette decks. There was like 3 cart machines. We brought in auxiliary mixers, our synthesizers, and rhythm machines, and then you could put 2 phone callers on in the air, which we were real excited about because they could just do whatever they wanted. All that stuff was so exciting. It was like having your finger in a light socket, you know. It was just, and it was really exciting. But it was also being naive. Oh, and then years later, I found out about John Cage and Stockhausen and all those Pierre. What's his name, Schaefer, all those people in France in the 50s. I didn't know about any of that.
Satan.
At first, when we were doing it, just to take something out of context, like from shortwave radio and the TV and playing the guitar and, you know, the dog barking, you know, one of our parents cooking in the kitchen, recombining all of it, just to do that was so exciting and felt so neat and new and different. And then after a while, we started realizing we had to have more to it than that. We had to have more ideas, and we started doing records that were conceptual. I think that's probably one of the strengths of our work is that there's these ideas. It's not just collaging things together. You know, there's actually a lot of ideas going on.
The Bradley's report tonight was not altered in any way.
There is an interesting sense that because you've had this technology around for a while now, where you can take anything and make anything out of anything with sampling and digital technology. And I do have the sense that people can still keep playing around, but there's some weird dead end that's been reached when there's now just absolutely no limit, you know, to what you can recombine. But we just put on a totally great tour using old turntables and cart machines and 16mm projectors and old synth. I mean, everything in there is just old and cheap and used and crappy, and we put on a great show. And a lot of people just really liked the fact that there was these humans manipulating actual things on the show live to make this thing happen, instead of pushing a button saying, look, it's this brilliant new software program I wrote. It's totally interactive. Now watch, here, I push this button.
Your muscles unwinding, becoming loose, like a wet dish rag.
I think throughout this century, everything has been explored from you know, Cage's absolute silence, nothing, to industrial, to ambient, to field recordings, to natural sounds, to electronics, to dripping water, to anything you can think of has been done and called music. Okay, and it's not that you can't do a brand new piece with dripping water that wouldn't sound like the other piece with dripping water, but as a category, there's nothing new. There's no new categories to go to, which there used to be, and it's been totally explored throughout this century. It's just a rehashing, a rearranging, a reiterating, a bringing, synthesizing of different things in some new way. The future of music is reusing music, which is exactly what we're doing because it's the only thing left to do.
Hello.
We assume that our audience is really smart and really perceptive. Now, that may not always be true, but we make the work to have a level of complexity in it that makes that assumption.
The kids we're speaking to are dramatically sophisticated.
And in fact, I also think it has to do with a lot of stuff that comes up about the ethics of appropriating things and reusing things. Why treat your audience like you assume they're trying to rip you off or they're criminals? you know, treat them like they're actually going to try and be honorable and respect what you do, and maybe if you treat people like that, maybe they'll tend to act more that way. If you treat people like idiots, they'll act like idiots. If you treat them like thieves, maybe they'll act like thieves. What's that question we've been asked of? What would you think if somebody just makes a cassette recording of your work and gives it to somebody and you don't get any money for it? Would I rather a person not hear what we do and not have a copy and we don't get any money, or hear what we do and enjoy it and have a copy of it and we don't get any money? Which would I prefer? Well, I'd always prefer that they at least hear it. The number of people out there who are making music or any kind of art their whole lives and never make anything off it. I mean, I meet people all the time who, even though I know how hard it is, I know how little money we make every year, and it's hard to do. But the fact that I am making a living off of Negativland and I haven't had a regular job in 12 years, I mean, I know lots of people who would just give their right arm to be able to do even that and even have it as stressful as we have it. In a way, we're really, really fortunate.
I know.
And you can't expect... I never have expected, I think it's just almost presumptuous and arrogant for us to think that we can somehow always keep making a living off of this until we're old and gray.
Well, I hope.
I think I can adapt to, if I don't make any money, then I can just occasionally, I'll get a regular job, you know, serving soft-serve yogurt in a mall somewhere.
Cool, totally semi-awesome little packages that others are going to want to buy.
One of the reasons that we do what we do the way we do it is we're not trying to get money from grants or the government or anybody because we won't get any. We actually are trying to make
do it
what's
ourselves.
more like what we think of as fine art, but we're doing it in this capitalist model and trying to mass produce it to sell little objects. That's the only way that I could ever figure out how to do art and maybe make a living at it.